FTA negotiations, and with immense possibilities that come along with it. We have amongst us on the stage Right Honorable Anne-Marie Trevelyan, Secretary of State for International Trade and President Board of Trade, United Kingdom. We have Honorable Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Minister for Commerce and Industry, Textiles, Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Government of India. We have also on the stage British High Commissioner to India, His Excellency Alex Ellis, and we have Special Secretary, Government of India, Shri Kishore on the dais with us. Without wasting much time, sir, we have wonderful media with us today. In the COVID times, they've joined us. Thank you for joining. After the initial address by both the excellencies, I'll set rules for the engagement, media engagement. Sir, ma'am, I'd request you to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you, Minister Goyal. It's a real pleasure to be here in New Delhi to formally launch our trade negotiations between India and the United Kingdom. Our vibrant countries share a clear-eyed commitment to democracy, to those fundamental freedoms, to multilateralism and a rules-based international order. And we are deeply entwined through our close bonds of friendship, kinship and commerce that are fed by the living bridge of people and ideas between us. So as we recover from the economic impact of the pandemic, we have a unique opportunity to build on these ties, to recalibrate, to refresh, and to reinvigorate our relationship on trade, on defence, on climate, and on health. This is an opportunity that we must seize to steer our partnership with purpose onto the track of mutual prosperity for those decades to come. We aim for this to be a future-facing deal, accelerating the business that we do together in the cutting-edge sectors that are reshaping the global economy. Areas like services and innovation, where Britain and India are already world leaders, and in which we are therefore ideal partners, with many British and Indian businesses working side by side to push the boundaries of technology from fintech to green tech, from automation to AI. Through our commitment to a new and transformational comprehensive strategic partnership and the 2030 roadmap for future UK-India relations, we aim to double trade between our countries by the end of this decade, supporting jobs, businesses and communities in both our countries. This is part and parcel of the UK's ambitious agenda to strengthen our strategic and economic partnership with India as it continues to cement its rightful place as an economic superpower, home to more than 1 billion consumers and one of the world's fastest growing economies. The UK and India have a golden opportunity to forge a new economic partnership as India's economy is set to rapidly grow. Building on our enhanced trade partnership and the continued work of the UK-India Joint Economic and Trade Committee, the JETCO, an India-UK trade deal would supercharge our bilateral economic relationship, setting more businesses free to trade, supporting higher wages, lower prices, and more choices in our shops. With the commencement of the first full round of talks this month, it is my great hope that a trade deal between the United Kingdom and India will put us in pole position to recover from the pandemic, to strengthen our mutually beneficial ties, and to grasp the enormous opportunities that lie ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Her Excellency. Now may I invite our Honorable Minister, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, to address the media. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your very kind words. It's truly an honor for India and for me personally to welcome you for this momentous 15th JETCO between UK and India and co-host it with you, Your Excellency. India and the United Kingdom are two dynamic leading economies of the world, are coming together to embark on this next phase of our economic partnership, moving from the enhanced trade partnership, which was launched by the two prime ministers in May last year, to expanding it to a full-fledged discussion on a free trade agreement, on a comprehensive economic partnership, is truly a very, very important milestone in our engagement between the two countries. We are looking forward to a very multidimensional economic partnership between the two countries, particularly when we both share vibrant democracies, we share rich history and traditional cultural ties over centuries. The diverse Indian diaspora in the UK, who are in some sense a living bridge between the two nations, add a lot of dynamism to this relationship. Both Prime Ministers, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Mr. Boris Johnson, in May 2021, had announced the India-UK Enhanced Trade Partnership, setting an ambitious target to double bilateral trade by 2030. They agreed on negotiating a comprehensive and balanced free trade agreement, including consideration of an interim trade agreement to deliver early gains. Friends, since last year, we have delved into a promising new phase of the India-UK relations by entering into more and more strategic dialogues and engagement with the United Kingdom. Today, the terms of reference of the free trade agreement have been finalized and formally endorsed by both countries, and therefore we are launching formal negotiations for the free trade agreement, for which both teams will be proactively and regularly engaging with each other, deliberating on different aspects of our relationship, and fast-tracking the interim agreement or an early harvest agreement, where we hope to capture the low-hanging fruits, which will provide opportunities for businesses on both sides in UK and India and help us substantially enhancing the volume of trade in goods and services. Our cooperation will extend in areas like tourism, technology, startups, education, climate change, amongst others. We are looking forward to a very strong partnership, a mutually beneficial trade agreement with balanced concessions and market access in a wide range of sectors. Today's discussions have also focused a lot on ensuring that the free trade agreement is accompanied by significant progress in market access issues, which will help expand sectoral cooperation and also remove any trade restrictions beyond tariff restrictions. This will truly generate both direct and indirect jobs in both countries and help people in our quest for greater prosperity. The India-UK FTA will also contribute in integrating value chains or supply chains between the two countries and augment our mutual efforts to strengthen the resilience of supply chains between the two nations. Our leaders had envisioned launching the free trade agreement by early 2022. And I don't think it can get earlier than today. I'm happy to say that we could successfully conclude our discussions in a timely manner to announce the launch of our free trade negotiations today, despite the severe restrictions around COVID pandemic. I'm grateful indeed to Her Excellency, Ms. Anne-Marie Trevelyan, for visiting India and showing the deep commitment that both sides have to this agreement. And there is nothing better than meeting each other, exchanging ideas, and coming up with innovative solutions to the problems of the past. I would like to thank and congratulate both teams from India and UK for the significant effort they have put in over the last few months and wish them well for the future negotiations. The start of the new year on this optimistic note between two friendly countries, between two strategic partners, I'm sure will augur well for the future in the post-COVID world, post-pandemic world. We look forward to working closely with you, Excellency, and with your team to conclude both the interim agreement and the final free trade agreement at an early date. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I'd like to invite the two chief negotiators from India and UK to exchange the documents of terms of reference of the FTA launch agreement. Yeah, thank you. Kindly join us on the stage, please. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. अभी थोड़ा आगे चलिए. Thank you. Thanks. Now we come down to the point where we'll have a media interaction. It was very unique kind of platform media interaction that we're having today. The paucity of the time, the COVID, and the inability of lots of media persons to come in, so we decided to go in for a video conference format. Also, but the necessity was felt, at least we should have some agencies out here, so we invited the PTI, ANI from India, single agencies, and BBC and writers from UK. They are here in physical person. Rest of the colleagues are there joining us, sir, from online. And I know your times are very limited, so we'll take little few questions, possibly 2 or 3. We'll try our best. I'd request all of you should kindly keep your VC's audio off so that you can hear others. Okay. Questions had come as they are requested, and we'll take them in the order of priority, the time that we have. The first question is we'll take from BBC, which is present here. BBC.
Hello there. Can you hear me? Oh, you can, yeah. Secretary of State, you said that all options are on the table when it comes to securing a trade deal. Does that mean that you're willing to relax visa restrictions on Indians going to the UK? And Mr. Goyal, can I also ask, is that a key demand from the Indian side when it comes to securing a deal? And Secretary of State, since you are here, may I also ask, do you think that Boris Johnson should resign?
Well, I think we should stick to the.
Yes, I think that question was addressed to Her Excellency, but we should take, yeah.
I think nothing is necessarily a deal breaker in this agreement. This agreement is being discussed in a spirit of cooperation and friendship. And I do not think there is any need for anybody to worry about issues which are sensitive to any country, because both sides have agreed that sensitive issues are not our priority. We have to capture issues where the possibilities are immense. And therefore, I can assure all the people of the United Kingdom that neither is that a pressing or an overriding demand, or for that matter, on both sides, there is no demand which is absolutely a deal breaker or absolutely a must.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. PTI.
Shall I just add, we're keen, as the Minister says, to look across the piece, questions or specific questions of visas where other UK departments are involved will of course be part of those discussions. I have a very clear mandate approved from the whole of Whitehall to work, and it's very broad and very deep, because we want to find as effective and impactful a series of chapters that we can bring together in our FTA, which will ensure that our UK businesses, Indian businesses, UK and Indian citizens can grow as we've both already set out in that relationship, building the trading and those skills sets that we can share so that both our economies can see a boost and a long-term benefit for both countries. So we'll be working together at the pace as we've set out to see how much we can draw together in this really important, and for me, the first of my important FTAs this year, as the UK sets out on her independent journey post Brexit, to be able to really build those relationships in the Indo-Pacific, and particularly with India. This is a critical partner for us to see that trade growth.
Thank you, Her Excellency. Next question is by PTI.
Good afternoon, sir. So my question is to Minister, sir. So we have observed that normally these FTA negotiations take a whole lot of time, sometimes years, to conclude the negotiations. Are we fixing any kind of deadline to conclude the talks for interim, and what would be the deadline for concluding the final FTA negotiations? Thank you.
Thank you. So we are working to a broad timeline of trying to land the breadth of areas we want to bring together this calendar year. And I think your point is a fair one. Sometimes these times can take a long time, but actually both of us as trade ministers, and indeed both our prime ministers, are absolutely committed to developing this at pace so that we can get the benefits for all our citizens and our businesses to really crack on and grow the economies as we want to do.
My own take is that they can go on for years altogether, but those agreements never happen. And those agreements never give you the desired results, because where you start from and where you end, situations change. The good part is both sides have agreed that we will focus initially on areas which are of mutual benefit and where there's less disagreement, for which we have set a very aggressive timeline of the next few months. And we feel confident that there's so much complementarity between the two economies that we should easily be able to come up with a very substantive agreement in the initial phase itself. Going forward, if the spirit of accommodation, which has been demonstrated by both sides in the run-up to the FTA launch, continues the way it is, and we take the leader's direction, which Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Johnson have given us, I think we are committed to concluding this negotiation in about a year's time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question we'll be taking online. I think we can have the grid. Rajiv from Hindustan Times. Rajiv Jaiswal.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Yeah, please proceed.
Question. Is Britain keen on concluding a full FTA or prefer an early harvest deal followed by a full FTA?
Thank you. So we're very keen to move forwards at pace as we've set out, and we're very happy to look at an interim agreement in the months ahead, as Minister Goyal has just expressed, so that we can use that as part of our journey to the FTA. But we are all aiming to achieve a broad and comprehensive FTA, and we hope in the course of this year.
Thank you, Her Excellency. The next question is by writers. Writers.
Hi, thanks a lot. Obviously, you've said, I mean, you aim to conclude this year or within a year. It's a very ambitious target. I mean, how confident are you, given that countries like the EU have been trying to do trade deals with India for over, it's been stalled for over a decade? I mean, why do you think this will be any different for the UK?
I believe it'll be good because, as we've set out, both our prime ministers are absolutely committed to this, and Minister Goyal and I are giving it a huge amount of resource and effort, and we have a fantastic team of negotiators who are working together. We want to be efficient. We will be progressing the areas that we have, as Minister Goyal has already set out, a number of areas where we have agreement that we want to work to pull that together, and we want to find something that works for both countries. So we are committed to doing that in a really timely and effective way. We want to get on to be able to help our businesses trade.
Thank you. The next question is online. Can we switch the online grid, please? Mr. Girish from Mint.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please proceed. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, and congratulations for successfully starting the negotiations, and my best wishes for its early conclusion. Sir, I would like to know that, in every trade negotiation, there are certain, apprehensions expressed by domestic industry from time to time. So I would like to hear from you what all are the, key areas where Indian industry would benefit, if you could.
Thank you.
Well, obviously, when you start a negotiation, there's always going to be apprehension. But the good part is that this time, all our engagement with different countries, and you're aware that I'm on negotiating table with several countries for free trade agreements. All of them have two very unique features. One, they are between trusted partners, and we are looking at engagement only with those countries with whom we feel a sense of comfort, a sense of understanding of India's own concerns, our limitations, the fact that we have a large population, the fact that we have to grow up the development cycle and increase prosperity level of our people. Whichever countries have shown that understanding and that consideration are the ones with whom we are dealing. So it becomes so much easier to get balanced, fair and equitable agreements. Second, and that is why I feel we will make headway very quickly, is the fact that we are not looking at areas which were of very, very sensitive nature to both countries. It's much easier to park them aside and focus on areas where there is more complementarity. And with the United Kingdom, there's very little where there's an overlap. Almost on every area, we complement each other. So, for example, Indian textiles, it's a great, large job-creating sector in India. Leather, footwear, our marine, all of these are areas where large number of jobs are created in India, and which the United Kingdom is even currently importing in a big way from across the world. So without causing any detriment to their local industry, India can look to get a bigger share of the pie. Similarly, products where the United Kingdom has very specific strengths, products like high-end machineries, very modern equipment, technologies, where India is a large importer and which provides business opportunities for businesses in the United Kingdom, which provides jobs for people in the United Kingdom, will help them grow their share of trade with India and take a larger pie of our existing imports. It's a win-win situation of two complementary economies that we are working together on.
Thank you, sir. The last question is by ANI. ANI, we are here. Yeah.
सर सबसे पहले तो आप दोनों को बहुत बहुत बधाई कि लोहड़ी और मकर संक्रांति के अवसर पे ये शुभ मुहूर्त में बातचीत शुरू हुई है सर यहाँ आने से पहले मैं कुछ रिपोर्ट्स देख रहा था यूके की और इंडिया की जिसमें यूके की रिपोर्ट्स की बात करें तो उसमें बोला जा रहा था कि स्टेट एग्रीमेंट से इंडिया को फायदा होने वाला है ऐसी धारणा है वहाँ के मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स में और इंडिया में भी ऐसी कुछ रिपोर्ट्स हैं जिसमें बोला गया है कि इस ट्रेड डील से जो है यूके को फायदा होगा तो ऐसी धारणाएं कितनी सच है सर इसके बारे में जानना चाहेंगे और इस डील से जो है दोनों देशों के लिए कितना फायदेमंद होगी ये डील
Sir, I'll translate it in English. Yeah. First of all, a colleague from ANI has given us good wishes on Lohri festival in India. Okay. Then he's asked, being two great democracies along with strong media, how do we assure all concerned that the respective countries, the interests of the nations are not being compromised and both the countries are going to have a win-win situation?
What he said, he alluded to some reports in the UK media that India will benefit in a bigger way, and in the Indian media that UK will benefit in a bigger way. I think those who understand agreements or making any transaction recognize that both sides have to win. Otherwise, a deal is incomplete. And I think it's only fair to expect that whatever agreement will come out of the final outcome of the free trade negotiations will be with a great deal of stakeholder consultations on both sides. We'll be talking to industry in UK and India. We'll be talking to businesses. We'll be engaging with chambers of commerce, with exporters and importers. And on both sides, our effort will be to bring in new technologies on the table, to bring in new avenues of growth for both countries, to help both countries reduce costs so that both countries and the people of both countries can benefit. We'll be looking at expanding trade, which will create jobs for both countries and their people. So the idea is to look for a win-win solution, which will benefit, as I said earlier, in a balanced, fair and equitable manner, both the countries and the people of both countries.
And I think just to add to that, we absolutely will be making sure that all those businesses who have the opportunities to benefit from the trade deal are part of the conversations. We've already had a formal consultation in the UK, and we've got a very strong and continuing conversation that will go on with our businesses. And indeed, this will, I know, happen here too. But I would say that the media are a really important part of helping us to share what this is about, explain the opportunities, the growth in trade opportunities and the mutual benefit that both countries have. They will be different. By definition, we are seeking to grow our specialist skills and help bring those to India. There are many, many aspects of that, and we hope very much that the media will be part of the journey over the course of the year and work and talk to those businesses, those communities, those universities, those skill sets where we want to see that mutual growth, because the media's opportunity to tell the story helps us to make sure that everyone is hearing what those positive benefits of a free trade agreement are.
Thank you. With this, we come to the end of this little but nice briefing, and we'll share a release and statement soon. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, media. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. We can have a joint namaste, yeah? We'll have we'll have a small bite with social media. Then just here on. Yeah. The television crew may switch off ANI and all that stuff. Only the in-house television would be there. Yeah.